Yes.
It's all yours.
Thank you, Stefan. And thank you, Lee, what just happened to you, just disappeared, for that wonderful, wonderful session just now. It was very, very beautiful and a great way to begin this weekend, I feel. When you stood up from your chair the first time, I saw your Enzo on the wall and I thought, how interesting. I've got my favorite one on my wall. And mine was done by my Zen master in Japan. And it says, nothing missing, nothing added. And to me, that's the work of sensory awareness. Just being able to be and to be more real, and not have to go beyond or even shrink ourselves, but just to meet ourselves where we are and meeting others where we are too. So thank you again for this wonderful session. And the title for my sharing, my piece today is Time Alone, Being More in Touch with Ourselves. And I was thinking, boy, so not everyone on this call has been sequestered, I'm guessing, but a lot of us have. And so many people feel it such a hardship, or we're missing so much. And there's the other side also, where we have so many opportunities in this time of quiet, of seclusion. So the question is, how can we be more in touch with ourselves? Lee gave us a very good introduction, a very good beginning. And I would like to extend that a bit. And as we are sitting here or standing here, or even some of you might be lying, I wonder how you sense yourself right now. We had some wonderful opportunities with Lee to feel our breath, the movement, our space. And I would like to extend that now. And I wonder if we could, however you want to, with your breath, with your movement, with stretching, extend yourself even more. Can you enlarge yourself in any way? Maybe by stretching out to the side. And how much space can you really take up? And feel the connection from your heart, from your inside, all the way to your fingertips. And does that extension change your breathing in any way? As you stretch out to the side, perhaps are you feeling more or less of what is underneath you? And if you give up that stretch or come back, letting your arms, your chest, your breath, coming back to resting. What is your experience now? How do you feel of your own size right now? So I'm going to suggest that all of you who want to come up to standing. Some of us were sitting, many of you I see came to standing on your own. And again, can we extend ourselves even more out to our sides? And as we extend our arms out to our sides, can we shift our weight to one side and feel that extension and grounding? And breathing. Are we breathing more on one side than the other? And then letting your weight come back to center. Feeling what happens here. With your arms still extended or bringing them down to rest, does that one side feel different to you than the other? And now extending to our other side, taking your other arm and extending way to that other side, probably pulling your weight over to your second side. And how does that feel to you? Is your breathing maybe different on this side? Does your balance feel different on this side? Maybe you feel bigger one side or the other. Just noticing. And you might want to do coming back to center in your own time. Let's take some time for you to do this in your own pacing, stretching maybe from one side to the other, feeling your center, feeling your balance. Feeling your breathing. Where in you now does your breathing go? How does your heart wide open feel now? Can you take both of your arms and extend them out to your side? How far do you go? And as you extend one arm and the other, what is your experience in your back? Is that also extending? How about your front? Are you also extending in your front? And then before we get too tired, letting our arms coming back down to our sides. How do you feel now? What are you feeling in your torso? Your right side, your left side, your front, your back. Where is your breathing now? Feeling the contact of your feet with whatever is underneath you, the floor, the earth. Can you take your arms and extend them upward to as high as they go? From the tips of your fingers up high, all the way down to the soles of your feet and your toes. What are you feeling of yourself now? How is your breathing now? Where in you do you feel the movement of your breath? And what happens as you allow your arms to come down, however they want to, however you want them to? Feeling the changes in you as your arms move. As your breath moves you. Does the connection of your feet to the floor, of you to the floor, changes as your arms come down? Can you bring just one arm up now, just your right arm, reaching up as far as it goes? And as you shift your weight to that side, same side, right arm, right leg, what happens to your breath? to your balance. To your left arm and your left leg. And as you come back to center, notice how the weight changes, how your balance changes. And how do you know when you're back centered? And how does your arm want to come down this time? How is your standing now? How does your right side feel? And how does your left side feel? How does your front feel? How do you feel your back? And how does your inside feel? How far inside you do you sense right now? Is there any movement? Any message? Okay. I hope you're with me because I would like to stretch my left side in the same way. So if you want to, can you bring your weight over to your left? All of your weight on your left leg, and then extend your left arm up as far as it wants to go. And maybe this stretch is very different than your right side. Maybe it's very much the same. Just notice how your breath is, what this stretch is telling you. How does your back feel with this stretch? And how does your front feel? Have you noticed anything happening in your face as we've been moving and stretching? And when it feels right to you, letting your arm coming down and your weight coming back to both legs. And standing or sitting if it feels best to you. What do you experience now? Maybe as you move from standing to sitting, are you aware of moving through the air and how that feels? Or if you want to stay standing, just taking a few steps. Can you feel yourself as your weight shifts, feeling the air you're moving through? As you're taking some steps or changing your posture, do you notice anything happening inside your mouth? Is your tongue being affected by your movement? And as we come back to sitting, or lying if you prefer, I wonder if your sense of your size has changed at all. You might feel bigger, you might feel smaller. One side might feel different from the other. Just notice. Where do you feel your breathing now? Now that we're sitting or lying or have stopped the movement, do you have any memory of the movement in you? Or there might be still parts of you that are still moving. And before we stop, I invite you to take both of your hands and just lightly touch the top of your head. So touching from the top of your head, maybe touching at the bottom of your sitting bones or your feet or your back if you're lying. And then when your arms come back down, resting, How are you now? I wonder if you feel more in touch with yourself in any way. And I'm wondering if anyone would like to make a comment of your experience. You can just speak up, unmute yourself, or put something in the chat if you want. Mhm.
Hi, it's Maria. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Maria.
Oh, good, because I was the one that was on the phone and I wasn't able to say anything. My sound was off. I could hear Lee, but I wasn't able to say anything. So
It's nice to hear you now.
yeah, great. I got Zoom on my phone. Anyhow, I enjoyed that experience, and I was surprised to notice that after sitting down, after the standing and on each side, that my left side felt a lot more open than my right side, and I could breathe much more. My breath seemed to be going more into my left side than my right side. So that was very interesting for me, because I always thought, breathing was the same on both sides. But anyhow, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And we are so different and so variable, one side to the other. Thank you for your comment. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Renee.
Hi, Renee.
When I had my arms, I don't know if we had them both out, but I did. And then I lifted them up and I felt such a sense of freedom. Have been feeling so constricted. And then I just felt like my heart was wide open for just a minute and a few seconds, or I don't know how long. And then I felt this incredible sadness. And it was like, that's okay too. And I appreciate that. I've been feeling so tight and constricted. So it was wonderful. And I still have that memory of like light and openness. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a beautiful feeling. Yes. And I think so many of us, there's a comment in the chat from La Sirena who says, I keep thinking there is a playground within myself after feeling cooped up for so long. So yes, same thing. There is, we are.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Amy. I was just amazed, I think, after the work with Lee and the breath work, and then feeling extended, I felt when I was sitting, as at the end, I just felt like like parts of me were going towards the ground, like gravity pulling, or not pulling, but going, just resting, but almost in levels, in layers almost of just of layers going towards the support of the floor. And I was amazed at that, because I've never experienced, I've wanted to experience that, but never had, and didn't think about it. And it just came. So
Wonderful.
thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. Anyone else like to say anything?
Can I say something?
Yes, of course. Who? Someone wanted to say something?
Yes, it was me, I think.
Ah, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
After stretching both sides, I was standing and starting to walk. and walking came out of my spine, kind of the middle of my trunk, and it was such a good way to walk, because my legs and my arms were corresponding. Can I say that? Do you understand?
Yes.
And in the moment when you asked, is something happening in your face? I felt it was a little before, and I thought, yes, it's a real connection, because it was a smile in my face. It was such a nice way to move myself through the air.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who'd like to say anything?
Yeah, I will say, Sylvia.
Okay,
It,
there you are.
it was a special experience because it was in contact with, lately, I'm really in a state of joy a lot. And sometimes when my thoughts coming in, I get a little bit guilty about what's going on. And I feel my chest is more, or my arm, like getting close to my body. And to have the movement coming in, opening the arms, it really just flow in again, the state of joy, and just allowing and saying, it's okay, I have the right to be joyous, even in this strange time. So thank you for giving me this connection back.
I didn't give it to you. You gave it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I'm very
Thank you.
glad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Judith. My name is Karen.
Hello, Karen.
I found some blackness and some stuckness in a shoulder, my right shoulder, and I found there was no breath going there, which I thought was a really great awareness. I've had a lot of problems with that shoulder. And then I started getting this flood of cascade of memories, like old memories, like flashbacks almost, that were just kind of coming up and floating out. And I just felt release. So it was very, very opening and beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Mhm. Let's go a bit further in a different way. Again, time alone. Maybe there are things we don't do usually in a group, but can still allow us to become more in touch with ourselves. So I want to suggest that we all start making faces. Nobody's going to see you, really. Just start moving your face, making faces like you're a little kid, maybe practicing for Halloween or being a monster, stretching your mouth and your cheeks and your forehead, and crunkle them up so that you can't even see, and then open your mouth, and don't forget your tongue, another very important part of us. Wiggling your nose. And I think most of us are muted, so allow sounds to come out. Allow stretching your voice as well as your face. And just feel the breath coming out of you, the sound coming out of you. Where the breath in you goes as you focus on moving your face as tight as you can and as open as you can. And now letting the movement come to rest. I don't think we're finished, but just to allow us to feel the difference between the movement and the stillness. And what do you feel in your face now? What has that stretching and that movement done for your muscles? For your breath? Maybe your shoulders were involved also. And let's go back to moving our face again in all the different ways, but this time bring your hands to lightly touch your face so you can feel the movement inside and feel the movement outside. And the sound. Touching your forehead, maybe your hands over your eyes. Moving your tongue, your jaw in so many different ways. What happens if you make the sound louder? Does that change your muscles anywhere? And can you bring your hands down to your neck or below your chin as your face is still moving and feeling the movements, your muscles, your breathing? And then resting again if it feels right to you. Letting your face have a rest from all that movement. Not only your face, your shoulders, your neck, your chest. Are your hands affected from the touch with your face? Where in you do you feel the movement of your breathing now? Now, once more, let's start with moving our face and touching wherever you want to, touching your shoulders, the back of your neck, your throat as your sound comes out, your chest. Is your face moving differently maybe this time? If you bring your hands to your head, to your cranium, can you feel movement happening there? How wide does your mouth open? How loud can your voice be? How tight can you squish your eyes? And what happens if you put your hands over your ears? Can you still hear? Can you open your eyes as wide as they can go? And then bring them as tightly closed as they can go. And again, open them up again, wide. And how do you respond to that difference in your eyes? And again, coming back to quiet. Feeling our breathing. How is the movement in you now? Is there any remembrance in your face of the stretching and the moving? Can your tongue rest inside your mouth? And how does the back of your neck feel to you now? How does your sitting feel now? If you're sitting or you're lying. What do you feel in your feet? Have your feet been affected by the movements in your face? And Stefan, I think it would be good if we do the breakout sessions again after everybody can bring their new face to your breakout sessions, your partners. So again, I think 15 minutes was a good amount of time.
Did you like that? Okay. It will be random. You will most likely not be with the same person.
Mhm.
Well, actually, it shows me that I could recreate the same.
Yeah.
What would you think, Judith?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Same room?
Mhm,
Same rooms is fine?
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
15 minutes. There you go. And I'll see if I can check about the phone, unmuting phones. I'm not sure that I can, but I'll see.
Mhm.
There we go. And it looks like we have a group of people who were not here before, who are not assigned yet. So I'll do that. I'll put you in rooms with few people.
Stefan, I was in a room all by myself.
Oh, that's very sad.
I just talked to myself.
Oh yeah, how is that?
That was fun.
Let me see. Hold on.
There's Diane. She was in my group before.
Just give me a moment here. I'm putting other people into rooms. Diane is, can you hear me? Diane?
She can hear you.
Let me see if I can put you guys in a room. I'm not actually sure because I'm not seeing you on the list.
I guess we don't exist then.
Well, no, I don't see you on the unassigned list.
Oh.
So I have to go through all the rooms.
Hmm.
Which, so do you know which room you were in?
20.
20.
20. Okay.
Yeah. 20.
It just says you're not joined. You can still go there.
Can I still go there?
I
I had an incident that came up that I had to take care of. So that's why I didn't join, but I can join now.
Can you see, do you have an option? Does it ask you to join?
No.
See.
Yes. Yeah. Hit breakout rooms at the bottom. And
Yeah.
then it says join breakout room.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Can you see it? And Maria, did you
Yes.
want to go there too? You look, Marsha's in there.
I think
Okay.
it's gone.
Now they're gone. Yeah, now they're in the room.
Wow.
Is anybody not in the room who would like to be in the room? I can't hear you, Sarah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. The big room with everybody else.
Yeah, here
Not
the
in
big.
the room. Maria, Sarah, we can't hear you.
I was the only one that appeared in my breakout room.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and now we hear you here. So Which room, do you know which room number you were in?
It was 4.
There are now 3 people in there. No, no, they're actually all not in the room. They're all hanging out here. Well, I don't know why. And I need to do some tech stuff here, so I mute myself. Sarah, if you want to share something, we're here hanging out in the big room. Can you hear me?
We're another group, Sarah. Feel free.
Well, it was a wonderful experience for me. I have been doing a lot of Qigong practices since this pandemic began. I'd never done that, and I've done it with a number of teachers. And now from now on, since it's just me looking at the teacher, I'm going to start using a lot of sound.
Yes.
Making noises. And it was very, very invigorating just to be, I never had thought that I could make a sound.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So that was just very freeing. And I felt a much aliveness that I had never felt just in doing the Qigong.
Yeah.
Which I do.
Some Qigongs and Tai Chi do have sounds that go with the movements, but most people don't know them.
No, I haven't discovered. I just go on the internet and Qigong, and there's certain teachers that I'm with regularly. I'm with this guy, Lee Holden, after I do my meditation in the morning. And he has become like a figure in my life somehow. So, but now with sound, I feel as though I can be much more involved in it. And especially with the movements of my face, I'd never done that before. Yeah. So that was very enlivening.
Wonderful. Sound is a movement. That's great. You can your own.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
The only thing, I live in this senior center, in this studio, in this one room, and I'm wondering if I start screaming, will the people next door begin to wonder what is happening with me?
Maybe you can give them a warning.
Yeah. Let them know, because there's something about sound, because we have a roof. I live in this big building, and up on the roof, sometimes I've been there all by myself, and I have just screamed at the top of my lungs. And I find it changes my mood.
Yeah. Yeah, it really gets things moving. Wonderful.
Right. Where do you live?
I'm in Seattle. Where are you?
I'm in San Francisco. My granddaughter is in Seattle, and I've been to Seattle many times. I like it very much there.
I don't. I moved from California and I miss the San Francisco area very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that to be near family?
It was to be near grandchildren, yes.
Yeah. My granddaughter is there. And the thing I miss the most now is touch. Not being able to touch and
but you just did it. You touched yourself.
I touch myself.
That's very.
But I can't hug anybody else, and
well, so you hug yourself more.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. So So sensory awareness has become very, very important in my life.
Yeah, it's wonderful the
Yeah.
way it has become, and so many people take advantage of it.
Right. And have you been doing it many, many years yourself?
68. A while.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I heard about it from my friend in Berlin, who's been with sensory awareness as taught by Elsa Gindler, and the
Yes.
way that she evidently presented that,
Mhm.
which I gather is a little bit different than Charlotte.
Everybody's different. You notice?
Different, yeah.
If it comes from us, we're different. Yeah. How long have you been, just since the pandemic?
I started with, when I moved to this place, I went to a one-day workshop with Lee
Uh-huh.
in Mill Valley.
Mhm.
And that was I was instantly drawn to it because, you know, in the regular life, nobody touches anybody. And here we were tapping each other on the back, and it just I felt like I was home.
You are. It is your home. Yes.
So
Wonderful. Welcome back.
So is it I see other people up here that are supposed to be in this group? Somebody named Mariella?
I don't see that. How interesting. We see different
Hi,
things.
Okay.
I am Mariela.
Hello.
Yes.
It's just I had a really bad headache and my pressure is high and I was just lying for a bit, but here I am. And I was listening to your sharing, Sarah. That is so nice. I love that.
I'm glad.
Where are you?
I'm from Mexico. I live in Mexico City.
Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to visit there.
Whenever you like, you have a home here to arrive to. Judyth, thank you so much for this beautiful class. I like feeling how deep can I feel myself inside. Wow, that was wonderful. I had never explored within through my senses, so that was quite a new discovery. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. Very welcome. Yeah.
And you know, Sarah, about what you were sharing, that you said that you liked about sensing when you were in Lee's class. You said something about people don't touch anybody else. I mean, I'm Mexican. We touch ourselves like a lot. We hug, we kiss, we like touching is the way of communicating here in Mexico, you know? So it's kind of familiar for me too. And I miss touching people right now on quarantine. Yeah, I really miss it. I mean, I hug my daughter a lot who lives with me, but.
Yeah. Well, is the virus affecting your culture a great deal?
Yeah, my mom had corona like a month ago and it was awful, and a lot of people and my neighbors, and it's spreading a lot. Yeah. The whole world is affected by it, but then we get to explore new ways of reaching out, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Judyth, you know, Mariela is one of our new leaders.
Oh, are you, Mariela? Ah.
Well, I'm not so new because I'm a little bit used now, but then, yeah.
She's not very fresh, but she's new.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Yeah, I was sponsored by Lee. I have been taking sensory for 22 years now. And I started on the leaders group with her 5 years ago, and 3 years ago she made me a leader. So, well, she proposed me to be a leader, and then yeah, and I'm so happy about that. I love. Has changed a lot, sensing, ground.
Yes, and Mariela is now one of our Sensing Sundays leaders also.
Wonderful. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. I haven't met you.
Nice to meet you, Judyth. Yeah.
Are
So
we
people are coming back.
coming back? This is so
About 25.
Nice to meet you, Sarah. Thanks for reaching
Yes.
out.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, Judyth, the rooms are now closed.
And people are coming back, or else.
Yeah, they should be back by now. Yeah.
So welcome back, everyone. I wonder if there is anything anyone would like to say to the whole group. We still have some time. Maybe you're all well talked out, so we don't have that much time, but there's something, again, I just looked at the title, Time Alone, being more in touch with ourselves. And I thought, what else can we do that we normally don't do out in public? Touching ourselves, getting, maybe larger than normal. I wonder if there are places that we normally don't touch. I wonder if you would like to take some time and just make contact with places that we wouldn't touch necessarily in public, maybe. How about the back of your ears? We don't touch that very often, but I would just wonder what it would feel like to make contact with the back of your ears. Can you feel any movement back there? As you feel your touch at the back of your ears, how far in you does this touch extend? I wonder if you can feel your touch maybe to the inside of your ears or up your head. Or maybe, does this touch affect your jaw? And then taking your touch away and noticing, how is that? Can you think of another place that you normally don't touch in yourself that maybe making contact would be interesting? Thinking of my armpit. It's another place where I don't touch very often, but how does it feel to touch your armpit? Is there movement in your armpit? And then coming away from that armpit and touching your other armpit. Wow. My armpits are very different. I had no idea. I wonder how yours are. Is there breathing in your armpit? And when you allow your hands to come away, is there still any breathing in your armpit? One or both? And I wonder if there's another place that you don't touch often that you would like to make contact with. I think I'm going to choose I forget what it's called, right here. It's my clavicle. And when I'm talking, of course, there's a lot of movement. So you might want to make a sound and feel the movement. Or maybe you've chosen another place. And if you're touching here in your clavicle, making faces really makes a difference. Or sounds. And I'm aware that we're coming to the end of the session. And I would like to hear from anyone who would like to talk, but I would also like to, I would also like to invite you to continue this exploration of places where you don't often touch and just notice. Now that we have the time and the space to do strange things alone, we might explore and learn more about ourselves in different ways. Thank you for exploring with me, and I wonder if anyone would like to say anything about your experiences.
Hello, this is Ray.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Ray.
Hi. So Judith, I thank you for this last little gift you gave us. It's so easy for me to touch the tip of my finger, my nose. Even as I walk through a room, I could touch anywhere. I'm taking it on.
Yay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, wonderful. Anyone else?
Hello, Judith. I'm Yuko.
Yuko-san. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. It's 4:43 a.m. Japan time, and I feel really awake. I feel really awake. I feel wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you for attending, and I hope you have a wonderful day,
Mhm.
whether you go to sleep or you stay up the whole while.
I will stay up for a while. Yes. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I want to thank you. Thank you all for coming. I think this is a wonderful and amazing coming together and being able to do this work. And there are good things and bad things about the pandemic, but bringing so many people together from so many different places is one of the benefits that we've been having. So thank you very, very much. Thank you for exploring with me. I've never done those things before myself. And Stefan, I give it back to you.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you so much. So we have some time together, 15 minutes or so for more sharing. And what I'd be curious, because this is a little bit backwards, but after we started, I realized when I was looking around that there are many phrases that are familiar, but there are also a lot of new people, and maybe people for whom this is the first time that you've had worked with this particular practice we call sensory awareness. So I just wanted to give you a chance to maybe ask some questions, particularly of Lee and Judith, who were leading the sessions today. And I'm just really curious to hear how that was for you. Sharing is an integral part of sensory awareness, because it is not about a teacher who knows and teaches you something, but we're exploring together, and we all have our experience. So really would like to encourage those of you, particularly those of you who think they have nothing to say something. And I promise you that you cannot say anything wrong. Particularly if you speak from your own experience, because that's how we learn, and that's how we come from isolation to connection. When we talk to one another and share with one another, even if you think something made no sense to you, we'd like to hear that. Or if you experienced something that you had never experienced, or if you thought you had the wrong experience. So I really would like to encourage you to share with us and ask questions. And it's particularly interesting for me always with new people, because they are often much fresher than some of us old folks who know the right answers. So please, if you have anything that's on your mind or anything you'd like to ask, please do so.
Great.
I wanted to say that I've been doing this now since you started last March or April, and I have grown to, it has been so helpful in my life, because at 76 years old, I wait a lot. There are a lot of situations that I have to wait. You wait for the bus, you wait for the doctor's appointment, you wait for somebody to call you. You're waiting a lot at 76 years old. So these exercises, particularly like in the in-between times, or, I think there was a whole session on waiting. I can't tell you how much that's transformed my life, because waiting tends to, evoke irritation or impatience, or just feeling sorry for yourself. You're sitting at the bus for 40 minutes and it's cold and wet. And if you have other ways to focus on those very frequent moments, like sitting on your sit bones, how are you balanced, or feeling like your breath, you're not alone with the air and your breath. I mean, all these things after what, 6 months of richness, I can't tell you how grateful I am to all of you. I've never met any of you in person, but just thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you.
I need to respond to that because I'm 82.
Oh.
And believe me, waiting is a blessing too. And then having something to do with it, sensing during the waiting,
yeah,
is wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I also love hearing what you said, because I also think we lose so much of our life waiting for what we think is the right thing to happen, or waiting for what's the most important moment, and we're waiting for the bus to come, but you lose those 40 minutes of your life as though they don't count because you're waiting until the bus comes to live. So it's awesome to hear putting that into living practice.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you so much for the exploration of the voice to include that, because one, it's a dimension I've never worked with. And also because sheltering in place, I don't talk very much. So I don't use my voice a lot. It was nice to explore it a little.
Yeah.
Where are you, Linda?
In Manhattan.
You're in Manhattan. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. I have not met any of you in person. I've been doing these workshops on Zoom since the summer. I was formerly a piano student of Sofia Rosoff, and that's how I found out about this work. So I've been kind of, years ago, I got one of the Waking Up book that has the transcriptions of Charlotte's class. So I've been kind of loosely exploring this work for a number of years, but it's been really wonderful to be able to share these classes with all of you on Zoom. And there was a moment today during Lee's workshop when Lee, you asked us as we were walking around if we could connect with our breath even deeper or allow our breath even more to move us. And I just had a moment then when you asked that of recognizing that I was to a certain degree kind of following the motions, like, okay, I'm, walking, I'm stepping, I'm doing this the correct way, I'm following the directions. And when you said that, it really got me to connect on a deeper level, like, oh, this isn't about following directions or doing an exercise. This is really about connecting with what I'm experiencing. So I wanted to thank you for that.
That's wonderful to hear, Alex. And that's what this is all about. It is about connecting.
I will thank Judyth in her last exercise. My clavicle here and feeling it brought humming. And I found myself, I had been in a group with Enric in Barcelona. And I started humming and I realized it was Valare. It's like I'm humming away. So Ray might appreciate that I was Valare, but I was humming it. And I realized what it was. And I realized the inspiration was probably my international connection with my little small group today. And it was just so I could actually hum to myself when I'm anywhere, being impatient. And as it was discussed earlier about how much time can flee without expressing. And yet I can express to myself by humming while I'm waiting some inspiration that comes along in music or song or yeah, I could be talking to myself and quietly, right? And it's just hilarious to me. I just enjoyed that so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And whoever just before mentioned living in an apartment and worrying about the other people, we don't have to make sounds loudly. The sound is we would feel it even if it were very, very little, just the vibration or the movement, the experience of it. So now we can all go around talking to ourselves. To the world, and people think we're nuts, but that's okay. How it might serve us well.
This makes me think of actually a book that I appreciate a lot, a wonderful book called My Grandmother's Hands by Resma Menachem. And he's talking about this living sensory experience of racism and how it's part of our bodies and our whole history, but how it's living and how it lives in our bodies. And one of the things he talks about is the ways that people have survived and the tools that people have had. One of them is humming and sounding and making sounds that it's been part of a survival mechanism of many African-American people facing slavery and all of the different oppression ever since. And one of the, so just to, it just makes me think of that, just this power of humming, of making sounds, of feeling the vibration in our own bodies, and just how important this is, and how important it is for everybody in the face of isolation, in the face of challenge. What really helps soothe us and bring us into connection. And if you haven't read My Grandmother's Hands, I highly recommend it. It's a very important book from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to share something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to share that my experience that when I wanted to understand everything what each person was sharing their experiences, I wanted to put my head into the computer to listen more clear what you say and the voice and everything. And then it was an effort in my shoulders and in my neck. And then I tried to take more distance, and then the words and the sound of your voices came to me. I was not behind you, I was running. I was running behind your voices, trying to understand everything. And then it was different when I was sitting in this part of my chair, and then the voices came to me, and it was less stressful and more quiet. So for me, it has been a good experience not to run for things or to run behind, to try to understand or to try to follow everything. Thank you.
We have about 5 more minutes, and I would just like to encourage those quiet ones of you again to share with us.
I'll say something. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Beth. I met Lee through Veterans Path. There's a few of us from that group on this call, and I was just thinking back to when Lee was guiding us and the word effort, and how when she says in sensory awareness, without efforting or from sitting to standing, and how my training and my mind doesn't know how to do that. Doesn't know how to not go get the pilot or not deliver the cargo, or I have all this training and I'm so used to efforting, and how refreshing it is in that moment to have permission to just be and feel and slow down and unlearn a lot of what I've learned. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that a lot too. And, Beth, that you bring that up, for me, one of the core journeys for me in the practice with sensory awareness has been what's extra effort and what's the energy that the situation itself requires. And that was one of the hooks, from a living experience I had in my first workshop 50 years ago, a long time ago. But that experience of all this extra effort that I lived with, and to feel it and to feel the price that I pay and the impact on me, and what's the energy needed to meet what's happening. And that question is still really alive in me, and sensing helps me discover it over and over again. Thank you so much for sharing that, Beth.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to say something.
Please, Gail.
Yes. Yeah, I'm new to your workshops here. And actually, when Lee was talking, I really resonated with a statement that she made where she said, trust in fresh surprise and possibility. And to me, it went throughout all of me and said, hey, there's a blessing in every moment. And it doesn't, it's not necessarily a good blessing or whatever, but there's something in every moment. And then when Judyth continued and she had us expanding out to fill the room, actually, I I misunderstood her at first. I didn't realize she meant physically, like arms and legs and moving. So I did it with my mind, and I expanded out, and it was like, wow, I really felt a part of it. So I transitioned all of that, and I had no boundaries. And then I do have a number of different physical injuries and limitations in movement. So then when I realized I should move my arms or legs, and it was like, well, yeah, but that hurts. So I just kind of ignored that and went back. And honestly, right now, my breath is skipping and frolicking around every cell in my body. So thank you, thank all of you for that. And I got to do it my way. Lee knows that. She's helped me through a number of issues that I have. And yeah, I hope to enjoy skipping and frolicking for the rest of the day.
Gail, you did it perfectly correctly, specific to you. That was wonderful. And I hope you continue skipping and rollicking, not only today, but continue. This is your way. Thank you very much for your experience.
Thank you, Judyth. At least I have the memory that it exists. And so something, I can look in that, trust in that fresh surprise and possibility in every moment.
You have the experience that it exists, not just the memory. You were there. It was you. It is you.
Yeah. Thank you, Judyth.
Thank you.
So our time is officially up, and I just want to say that for those of you who want to go, feel free to go. We can keep the Zoom open for a little while if there's more to say, but feel free to go, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. It's the same time, the same structure. And thank you for being here. And if there's any questions, anything you need to ask and know before tomorrow, feel free to write. You should have my email address or text. So thank you. See you tomorrow. And again, feel free to hang out a bit if you want to.
Thanks, Judyth.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
this
you,
space.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you, tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Thank you all so much. Bye.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Misty.
Bye.
Bye.
Carol.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Sylvia.
I mean,
tomorrow.
I have to come an hour
late tomorrow. Is that okay?
Sure. Of course, Karen.
Come when you can.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Judyth and Lee, beautiful. Thank you.
So glad to see you.
Okay.
Thank you, Judith, and thank you, Lee, very much.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
both.
The session.
Wonderful to be with you all.
Thank you both, Lee and Judith.
So nice
What
to
a
see you.
treat.
It's been a long time.
A long time, yes. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Stefan, for all you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Hey, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Sarah. You too, Sarah.
Thank you, Lee, Judith, and all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lee,
My
and
pleasure.
Judith, and Stefan, and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judith, nice to see you again. Amy.
Amy. Nice to see you again, too. I've been looking and thinking, I know her.
Yes, 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 yes. Dharamsala.
Yes. And New York last time.
And New York, yes.